Alright, dude. I've been playing Fire Emblem. Is it worth 60? I'm going to let you know right now. So, first off, I feel like the gameplay is pretty good. So, what's really good... let's start off with this. Fire Emblem, I've only ever played Awakening on the 3DS. And that one was hella addicting. Hella addicting. I liked it. I don't really remember anything about it, though. Pretty much nothing about it, I remember. I just remember being super addicted. I probably got 30 hours in, and then I quit. But it was fun. It was a really fun game. And so I was excited that they were doing a Switch one. And I'm like, okay, cool. Switch is the best system. Awesome. So, just starting off, gameplay. I don't remember there being a difference in the gameplay. I know there was like a rock, paper, scissors thing in the last one, or every single one before that. But this one, it feels good. I like the length of the battles, number one. I really, really like the length. I like that it's like a good long chess game, because I'm really into chess. I like that it's a good long chess game. You're sitting there, you're really thinking. Just keep in mind, I'm on classic hard mode. Classic hard mode is hella... It's not hella hard, but it's really hard. And I think it's good because it really makes you think. And I think that's like a big problem with a lot of Nintendo games now, is that not that they're too easy, but there isn't an option to make it easier or harder. And so I like that with this game. I can just start off killing off all my units. Now, with that being said, the very first battle, let somebody die, and I didn't like him, so I just let him die. And I'm kind of glad that he's out of the game, because I didn't really like him anyway. So he's dead. He's gone. But I like that you have to sit there and invest your time into a battle. I also don't like it because sometimes I am prolonging getting into a fight, getting into a battle. But, you know, that's just the risk you have to take with the game. You know, it's like chess. Once you get in, or Monopoly, once you get in it, you got to really finish up and do it. I like that it isn't like, oh, face this little insignificant insurgents of people. No. This is like, you're going to go in, you're going to battle, you're going to do your thing. You got to think, okay, cool. And I think what I don't like about a lot of games, like strategy games, is that it seems like there's just a lot of missions to just pad. But in this game, it seems like every mission is significant, and every mission kind of pushes the story along further, which is, we'll get into the story later, but I like that. So I like that it's really fun. It's really hard, really challenging. And I like the Divine Pulses. That wasn't in the last Fire Emblem game, which is a godsend, honestly, a divine godsend. It's a godsend. I love that I can play on hard mode and I can have 4, 5, 6, 7 rewinds, and it's just a good little rewind button. It's a great little option that they put in to prevent you from wanting to play it on easy mode. So I've used it, not every match, but I've used it quite a few matches, and I've only ever gotten down to, I think, 2 divine pulses or whatever they're called. So that should tell you that if you're really thinking, you really don't need the divine pulses. And I like them. I love them. So for that, I feel like the gameplay is like $60 game. On to graphics. Graphics are literally the worst pile of crap I've ever seen. Ever. These are such bad graphics. So bad. I just cannot believe Nintendo put out a game with this atrocious of graphics for this price. For $60, this is like a $15 graphic game. And they are stale. They are unpolished. They're not 3D. Like the backgrounds. The backgrounds are just so bad. You look at them and you're like, this looks like a PS2 game. But, okay, yeah, that's what it is. The character models are whatever. I still hate that Nintendo doesn't do anti-aliasing or whatever that is, where they look jagged on the sides. And when you put those against the backgrounds, it just looks so bad. So bad. Like, I literally cannot stand to look at the game sometimes. I'll look up while they're talking. We'll get to the talking soon. But I just feel like if they were going to do non-3D backgrounds, then they should have made the models not 3D, and they should have drawn them out. They should have drawn out the backgrounds. Or they should do 3D backgrounds with the 3D models. I'm personally always in favor of 2D, but just rushed. Terrible. And on top of that, the game does not run well. It runs okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's just, I don't even know if it's probably 30. And then when you're at the monastery running around, it's like 25 frames a second. and it's just it's disappointing because it's a $60 game, and I'm not a graphics snob. To me, if the graphics look timeless or they have character, then it's good. But this game just looks like a rushed handheld game blown up. It looks like a rushed mobile game, honestly. That's a really bad diss, but it's the truth. Onto the music. Music and sound design, top notch. From the very first track. I don't know what any of the tracks are called, but I'm addicted to the music. I literally look forward to turning on the game, hearing the music, everything from the cathedral themes, from battle theme, from just you talking. Every theme is good, and I remember it, and I can hum it, and I'm left addicted and catchy. It's in my head, whatever. I love it. Love the music. As far as the voice acting, it's amazing. It's such a must, because for me, I'm not a big story guy, and I feel like because of that, I miss out on a lot of the RPGs because of how much dialogue they have. It's just too much dialogue for me. I don't like to read that much dialogue. Most of the time, it's not an interesting enough story for me to sit there and read pages after pages, so I just skip through. I'll get the gist of it, I'll kind of skip through it, but because this one is voice acted, I'm actually enjoying the story, and I'm enjoying being immersed in the game. But that's also has a lot to do with the music being immersed. The voice acting has a lot to do with being immersed, and definitely not relying on the graphics to be immersed. So I would say the music and sound design, definitely a $60 game quality. As far as the story, okay, here's the thing. I'm not a story guy. It's not that I don't care about the story, but I kind of don't care about story most of the time. It's just not really a top priority for me. But in this game, I'm pretty into it. I'm actually pretty into it. I like the three house idea. I could not care less about the golden deers. I really wanted to join Black Eagles, but I ended up choosing Blue Lions, and I was really torn. And the reason I didn't choose Black Eagles is because, well, I liked the Black Eagle girl, Edelgard or whatever, but I hated all of the students, and I never picked classes with magic. I almost did it. And that's what Black Eagles is, magic house. But then Blue Lions, I'm not really like in love with Dimitri, the leader of the Blue Lions, but I loved all the students. So I was like, okay, I gotta pick. I can grow to love the leader, but I can't grow to love the magic kids or whatever they are. So I ended up picking Blue Lions, which I don't regret. They have some really good stories, some good backstories. Not gonna spoil anything story-wise, but what I do like is that because of the voice acting, because of the music, and because of the gameplay all wrapped up together, I just feel like it's a complete immersive experience, except for the graphics. Graphics are just atrocious. But I like that, before you start a battle, you start to get to know the characters. I like that. And I didn't think I was going to like that. I really did not think I was going to like that. I'm not the kind of person that gets involved in all the extra stuff, like all the side quests and all, but I'm actually seriously sitting there looking at this guy, what is his name, Dedu or whatever. He's like this race of people that everybody hates, and I'm like, I actually like him, and I actually want to get to know him. So anytime there's anything backstory about him, I always do it, all the dialogue, but I do that for everybody. And that kind of goes into the whole classic hard mode thing, where if you die, it's like permadeath or whatever. I've literally had to turn off the game and shut it off before it saves because I've won a match, but my person died, or one of my class people died. And I've never cared about people like that in games. Even though I can just recruit more. I'm like, no, every single one of these people I want, and I'm going to keep. And it's really crazy to me that I actually care. And I'm doing all the backstory stuff. I'm doing all the little extras. I never do the auto-instruct stuff, which when I saw this game, I think it was E3 or whatever. When I saw this game, the trailers, I was like, oh, okay, it looks terrible, which the graphics never changed. And I was like, oh, good thing it has the auto-instruct option, because I'm never, ever going to do the option to manually instruct, which complete 180. I 100% always do manual instruction, which is really weird. I just never really thought I would do that. But I'm really invested in the characters in the story. It's pretty good. It's not like the most revolutionary story of all time. I'm kind of over the whole bad church monastery theme that it has going on, where it's like, oh, the corrupt church or whatever. I don't know. Not really interested in that. But it's really good. It can get bloated at times. It can get where you're like, okay, the lore stuff. I'm just not into lore and trying to know everything about this world. But it's good. You know, you can ignore it and it's not essential. So I like that. Not bad by any means. And it's been interesting. It keeps me interested. As far as the replay value, this game, I'm already 25 hours in. I'm not even halfway. So for me, it's just, keep in mind, 25 hours in and not bored. So usually around the 25 hour mark is where I'm like, okay, this game needs to start wrapping it up. But I feel like it's got another 25 in it of good quality content. And I'm not really bored. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep going. Usually I'd be stopping and I'd start switching onto another game. Because if I can't really beat something by 25, 30 hours, I'm kind of over it. 40 is like pushing it. So if this game has another 25 and it's as good as this 25, then I'm pretty well spent. Oh, story, by the way, $60. Replay value. So I think the other thing that's really great about the replay value is that you have the 3 houses and you can just replay them. I don't know if there's an option where you can... I don't know, because I wouldn't really want to restart from the very beginning, but I would also want to restart from the very beginning. I'm not that kind of guy. I'll probably never replay it again, but for somebody that wants to get the whole picture and wants to get the whole thing, you can do that, and it's going to be a completely different experience every single time, which is nice, because even if a game's super replayable, sometimes it doesn't change much, and I think that that's just not a good quality to have when you're talking about replay value. Like, even if it's a really fun experience and you want to replay it a bunch of times, if it doesn't change at all or you can't do things differently, to me that just hinders from it. This one, I can't even imagine how many infinite different ways you could play this game. Easy mode on one house, medium mode on another house, classic hard mode one house, change all the classes of all the different students and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna be it is a game that pretty much can last you an entire console cycle, whole lifetime pretty much, if you really want to get into it. So that's definitely a 60. So when you average those out, 60 for gameplay, 15 for the crappy graphics, 60 for sound design and music, 60 for story, 60 for replay. That's an average of $51. So is Fire Emblem Three Houses worth $60? No, it's not. It's worth $51, but that's pretty good. You know, I would waste the extra $9 just to play the game. If it never went on sale, I would waste the extra $9. But it's only worth $51, just so you know. That's it.